Hello. I need to start out by saying that I have been sick. And so I'm feeling kind of pinched and puny. And there is no amount of spackle in the world that's going to change how I look today. So you're just going to have to put up with me this way. Hopefully, you don't watch my channel because of how I look anyway. But I am past that scary point where my fever spiked to a place that Google said I should be seeking medical attention because I fell asleep. And when I woke up, my fever had broken. And now I am just at that place where I don't have much energy. Still, I wanted to do this video today because, as you know, if you watch my other videos, I don't always retain things too long. And this seems like an important one to cover because I want to go over how we give away our power and how we can achieve the ultimate in taking our power back by achieving self-mastery in spiritual sovereignty. People don't talk about that very much. And what is sovereignty? It is independence, self-governing. There is a more expanded definition of spiritual sovereignty, though, that I'm going to go over, but you're going to have to forgive me because I have to look at my notes. I'm just not all that sharp today. So I'm going to do my best here. Spiritual sovereignty is when you claim your spiritual energy and power. It is becoming who you truly are. No masks, no pretending to please others. It is not seeing anyone or any being, might I add, as better or worse, more or less, because you know that those judgments are made from ego and not your true essence. Now, how do we give away our spiritual power? Well, we people please. We say what we think other people want us to say. We do what we think other people want us to do. We kowtow. Maybe that's too old-fashioned of a word, but that's what just came to me. It's when we are saying yes when we mean no. It also can be when we're holding on to a person that isn't holding on to us. It can be when it matters too much what other people think of us. There are all sorts of ways we can give away our power, but really it does boil down to not allowing ourselves to be who we really are. We have a vision in our mind, things that we imagine we should be, or we literally have been told by other people what we should think, what we should do, and we buy into it because they have made us feel that we're not good enough as we really are. Usually I think what happens is when we're young, we start to, well, we don't start to, we just are. When we're young, we're being who we are. And then some adults come along and say, no, you can't do that. How embarrassing that you said that. We are kind of picked up by the adult and told, no, that's not acceptable. And we voluntarily climb into the little box, lid goes on, that they want us to be in. And I think for a lot of us, we say goodbye at that point because we don't even remember that we were once free, that we acted how we wanted to act, that we said what we wanted to say, that we enjoyed life without anyone shutting us down. We just forget that that ever was who we allowed ourselves to be because we're so used to not being anything that would displease an adult. And it doesn't always have to be family. It could be a teacher, it could be a coach, but it usually is family where that starts. So now you know about how you give away your power. And there are ways to take it back. And I know I've done videos on that before. I'm not going to go into that now because I wanted to explain how we can master spiritual sovereignty. And remember that with anything, we don't just snap our fingers and instantly we are that. So it's a learning process. We might cross one or two off the list and keep working on the rest. We don't want to give up at it because basically spiritual sovereignty is freedom. We get to be who we really are. And the glasses have to come on, of course. To achieve spiritual sovereignty means you make changes you've known are necessary, but have been running away from. The scary or unpleasant things that are most likely keeping you stagnant. You take responsibility for your energy and where you're investing it. You start looking at triggering situations for what they are showing you about yourself. And you take responsibility for your choices. You don't blame others for what seems to be going wrong in your life, but instead you dig deep to see how you are contributing. In other words, no more victim thinking. You live in your truth, honoring your intuition and trusting your instincts. You choose what you know will promote your growth, even if it's not easy, and you eliminate people or things that distract you from that goal. You alone guide your path. You do not head in directions dictated by others unless they resonate with you personally. You're picky about what information you take on as truth, knowing that not everything you hear or read is right for you. You honor your word not only to others, but to yourself, which could be described as willpower, I suppose. You speak your truth not in a whisper, but loudly and proudly. You know your voice is meant to be heard. And lastly, you own that you are a leader in your own life and also a leader by setting an example for others. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Oh, glasses are still on. You're going to get a glare. Heck, can't remember everything on a good day. It does sound like a lot. But mainly it's just asking us to be authentic and true to ourselves. Sorry, I have to chuckle at myself. This is going to be a lot of editing. I'm really struggling, and I don't know why I was so stubborn that I had to do it today. But if I went through the effort of putting on mascara and some lipstick, by golly, I don't want to waste that effort. So those are the things that we work toward achieving because it gives us freedom. Because while we may think that everything is peachy keen in our lives, when we are not authentic to ourselves, it doesn't feel so peachy keen to our soul. You know, we are all here to learn that our authentic self is exactly who we're supposed to be, and that we spend all this time in our lives trying to cover up what would actually make us happy, that would make us feel free. Now, at this point, I want to say, if you are strongly religious, if you regularly attend a church and you believe most everything that you are taught, you may not want to go further, because what I'm going to present is just my thoughts on it and nothing that I expect anyone to have to take on as their own, but that will possibly be upsetting. Should I count to 10? Maybe. Here, let me just sit and twiddle my thumbs for 10 seconds so you can shut it off. I don't want to upset anyone. I don't want to take away anyone's God. I just have a different way of looking at it these days. And I was raised in the church. It's just there was a point I knew it didn't resonate with me anymore. And now I know why it didn't. And that's why I'm going to explain. But it's not anything that you have to listen to if you think it may be upsetting to you. All right, now count. Do, 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 do. This should do it, shouldn't it? Do, 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 do. I think that should do it. Wait, I didn't finish it. Let's see, how else does it go? Do, 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 do. I was afraid I wasn't going to hit that last one. That last note was a little shaky. Oh well, not here to be a singer. So here is where I think that churches or organized religion mess us up on achieving mastery of spiritual sovereignty. The congregants are not taught that they have power. Remember, one of the points was about not seeing anyone as better or worse. That means that we would not revere those in authority. And I am not advocating in the least that we don't show respect to law enforcement or anything like that. But in the church, there is a pastor or a priest, and in some churches there are even bigger higher ups. And the congregants are taught that they are to look up to and respect those leaders, even when their behavior or their words don't deserve to be respected. And then there is the ultimate big guy, that the congregants are taught basically decides their fate. Doles out what is good, doles out punishment. You would have to see that person in power over you as better, right? And a lot of people in the church see themselves as the peon. And then, of course, there's all that stuff about sin, and we're supposed to think that those higher ups don't sin, and we do, so shame on us. Ew. So it doesn't make us feel powerful if we are a follower in a church. And it's not usually encouraged if we start to think maybe some of those leaders shouldn't be there, that maybe those leaders aren't any different than us. And then when we see God or Allah or whatever we call it, I don't know all the different names that higher being might be called in different religions, as the one that we need to pray to or beg from, plead. We don't think that we have any control over our own lives. That is not acknowledging that we have power, spiritual power. And so I honestly have thought for a while that there is something wrong with that story. That's the best way I can put it. For instance, when I was in junior high and I was going to go to the dentist, I would be like, please God, don't let me have a cavity. I don't want to have a filling. I hate the drill. If I did have a cavity, then I would think I must have done something wrong. I didn't pray right, or I said a naughty word and I was being punished. And if I didn't have a cavity, it was all glory to God for saving me from having a filling. I had no power of my own that I knew of when I was young. There was a whole hell of a lot of punishment, not a whole hell of a lot of reward. And so I basically grew up thinking God didn't like me. Now it turns out I do have power. And I am not slamming anyone that wants to believe that God is a man with a long flowing white beard that sits on a throne and dispenses good things where they are deserved and bad things where those are deserved. I just hate for people to think that they don't have any control over their own lives, that they don't have any personal power. It just doesn't seem like it would be all that healthy, because I still sometimes feel like something that has happened is punishment, and try to think, what did I do to deserve it? And I haven't been a churchgoer for many, many decades, but that sort of thing is ingrained in us. Now again, I don't want to take your God away from you. I just would like you to maybe look at things a little differently. And because of that, I want to read this to you, because I don't think I'm all that eloquent, especially not today maybe. But you may have noticed that I've been sharing things from the Yeshua channelings. Yeshua is Jesus. And if you say, I don't believe in channeling, that's okay. But I'd like to remind you that the men that wrote the Bible would also say that they were channeling. Just maybe they didn't have that term back then. But they would say it came directly from the divine. And this is a channeler that had a connection with Jesus and wrote a whole book on it, quoting his words. This came up in one of the most recent excerpts, and it was hidden, I think, if people even listened. So I want to read it now. This is again Yeshua, Jesus speaking. In extending my energy to you, my sole purpose is that you feel the flame of clarity within, the flame of your truth. That is the essence of the Christ energy. I have been an earlier carrier of this flame, but now it is time for you to carry on the torch. It is important to acknowledge who you are on the inside. You carry this torch with you, and you must realize that the time has come to show it to the world, for the world is waiting for it. This is a time of transformation, a time of great changes which show many faces, both dark and light. The time is ready for people who have a wider view, who can watch all manifestations of dark and light from a calm and peaceful state of mind, and who are able to be present in love without judgment. And because I also believe that, I thought maybe some of you would be open to my different way of looking at things. Going on. The time has come to let go of me as someone you look up to. I am a brother and a friend to you, not a master you should follow. I want to surround you with the energies of love and truth. That is all I can do. Now it is your turn to stand up for yourself and to let the light of your torches shine. See, believing that we serve a master is saying that the master is better than us, and that is not part of spiritual sovereignty. Now, if you've been raised in the church, if you still go to church, That's not something that's easy to hear. And so I just want to suggest that maybe there's a different way of looking at it. Instead of serving a master, what if you just saw it as co-creating with the divine? Yes, it takes the God word out of it when I say the divine, but really, God, the divine, is the same thing. And we are all part of the divine. We all are part of this all that is. There is no master. It's like if there were voting booths. Jesus would go in, God would go in. Hell, I don't know if you believe in Satan, maybe Satan would go in, but we all would get to vote. We are all part of this. And the reason that some of us have this experience and others don't, and some of us have that experience and others don't, is so not everyone has to experience the same things. Because we are all one, those that didn't have the experience can still learn from those that did. I mean, it's all collaboration. And so to be a co-creator is showing respect to another person, soul, that is part of all that is. It is just not putting them on a throne, I guess, because we recognize that we're all equal. Yes, there had to be a creator initially. And we can certainly say thank you to the Creator for putting us here. But the Creator wants us to know our bliss. And how could we possibly know our bliss when we are listening to other people telling us what we have to do, who we have to be, and making us feel bad about who we really are, such that we have to pretend? It is like raising a child. There are hard lessons when you're growing up, aren't there? But we learn how not to have even harder lessons. And a parent, at least a non-narcissistic one, wants the child to learn to be independent and self-sufficient. That's our job. We want them to feel good about themselves. We want them to learn the skills that they need. The Creator wants us to do the same so that we can enjoy our life to the fullest. Not feel that we have to be phony, not feel that we have to keep everyone else happy and let our own needs go to the wayside. And we have all these hard lessons before we get to that realization, but eventually we go, oh yeah, now I get it. You want me to be who I really am so I can be happy. And hopefully it's long before you have to leave this earth, because wouldn't it be the shits if you just finally figured it out the day before you croaked? Now see, I'm putting humor in here, and it's not really a humorous subject, but that's how I deal with things when I get a little bit nervous. And I know this is controversial, but one of those things that was part of spiritual sovereignty is that we speak our truth. I see people who are so beaten down and so afraid to be who they are. And it makes me sad. And I see the ways I have been beaten down. And I'm clawing my way out, but it's a slow, really painful path sometimes. I'm determined I'm going to figure it out before the day I croak. So, whether you resonate with this or not, I hope you realize I am sincere when I say I don't want to take anyone's beliefs away from them. I don't expect anyone to buy into what I believe. I'm just throwing it out as something to consider. if you're even open to considering, and you don't have to be. And now I think I'm going to go get something to eat and then lay down. I hope I feel better tomorrow. And I hope you are feeling good today, tonight, whatever it is. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.